When we say Shiva, if you look at his life process, he went through everything that any human being would go through. He is many things at the same time. He is the most beautiful, he is the ugliest, he is a great ascetic, he is a family person, he is the most disciplined, he is a drunkard, he is a dancer, he is absolutely still. Gods worship him, demons worship him, all kinds of creatures in the world worship him. Whatever we say about Shiva, you must understand, the very opposite is also the truth. He is the Bhairava, the most fearsome, one who is of quick temper and immense violence. He is also the most compassionate. He is the Sundaramurti, the seducer, a gallant lover and a compassionate, handsome and romantic being. He is also the Tandava Murti, one whose dance would destroy the very process of creation. At the same time, he is Achaleshvara, absolute stillness, one who does not know any moment. Shiva is a yogi who should not be named. To name is to limit and curtail. At the same time, the many names of his, the sum total of all these names is an absolute representation of the whole universe, all its complexities, a representation of all the unfathomable mysteries of the existence. If you can accept this man, who is a complex formation of every quality that you can find on this planet, if you can accept him, you have crossed life itself.
The whole idea is to destroy your logical mind so that you open up to a different dimension of life altogether.
We have known Shiva as various energy forms. Kala Bhairava is a unique manifestation of Shiva, which is in the form of time. You cannot manage time because it is running at its own pace. Energy you can manage, you can play with it. Time is running at its own pace. But there's a certain dimension of consciousness which can go beyond time. That dimension of consciousness is referred to as Kala Bhairava. There's a beautiful story in the tradition. All of you who are from the Indian background at least, you definitely have heard of Markandeya. The story is told in many ways, this needs to be understood. Markandeya was a child. When he was born, or before he was born, this choice was made, the parents had to choose. Either they'll have an idiot who will live for 100 years, or a brilliant, shining being who will live only for 16 years. The parents were wise and they chose the later, that they bore a brilliant, shining child of enormous capabilities, but as days passed, as years rolled, they became… Because they know the expiry date. Every child you bear has come with the expiry date, it is just that you don't know the expiry date, including yourself. But now they know the expiry date of their child, so they became very tortured as the date came close. And they revealed this to the child because the child was phenomenally wise and knowledgeable. And when the moment came, when the god of death, Yama, came to claim his life, Markandeya, who knew the ways of life, just did one simple act. There was a form of Shiva in the form of an ellipsoid or a linga, an energy form, which was particularly consecrated as Kala Bhairava, and he just held the linga. The moment he held the linga, time came to a standstill and death could not approach him and held him right there. Then that dimension of consciousness opened up within him, where he was not available for time anymore. They say he continued to live as a 15-year-old boy, never turning 16, because he came in touch with that dimension of consciousness which we refer to as Kala Bhairava.
Kala means time. Kala also means nothingness. Kala also means cycles on one level. Kala also means beyond cycles on another level. So these things are, in a subtle way, they're deciphered. Kala, Kala Bhairava, Mahakala, these are all talking about the same thing in different dimensions of experience. Right now, our experience of time is all because of the cycles of the nature. Anything that is in cycles, we can measure how many times it went around. That's how we are coming to understanding of time. And Kala Bhairava is just making an embodiment of that so that we can access it, creating an energy space where we can access that dimension. Because I think in Tamil, the word that is used is very appropriate. When somebody dies, they'll say, Kala Maitanga. That means his time got over. So it's very simple and it's perfect. All that happened is the time got over. They don't understand, we are like timed toys, we're just going on. When the battery runs out, poof. It's just that most human beings don't realize time is ticking away. They think they're on forever. No, we are toys of time. Time is playing with us right now and it's getting over. You do something, it gets over. You don't do something, it gets over. You burn intensely like a volcano, it gets over. You just be insipid, it gets over. Do whatever the hell, it is getting over. So you are just a toy of time. So Kala Bhairava is to access that dimension so that you become a master of time. If you become a master of time, that means you become a master of life too, and the life process, because all life process is based and rooted in time.
In the ancient land of Bharatvarsha, amidst the sprawling forests and sacred rivers, lived the sage Markandeya and his devoted wife Marudvati. Though deeply pious and virtuous, their hearts ached with the longing for a child to carry on their lineage and perpetuate their spiritual legacy. For years, they immersed themselves in austere penances and fervent prayers, seeking the blessings of the divine. Their unwavering devotion caught the attention of Lord Shiva, the supreme deity of creation and destruction, who appeared before them in all his divine glory. Moved by their pity, Shiva offered them a choice: a son who would lead a long and ordinary life, or a son who would be blessed with unparalleled wisdom yet destined to live only 16 years. Without hesitation, Markandeya and Marudvati chose wisdom over longevity, accepting the fate for their unborn child. Thus Markandeya was born into the world, a radiant beacon of divine wisdom destined for a brief yet extraordinary life. From his earliest days, it was evident that he possessed a profound intellect and spiritual insight far beyond his years. Under the guidance of his parents, Markandeya immersed himself in the study of scriptures and the practice of austerities, eager to unlock the secrets of the universe and attain enlightenment. As Markandeya matured, his fame spread far and wide, drawing disciples and admirers from distant lands who sought to bask in the glow of his wisdom. His teachings resonated with seekers of truth and enlightenment, offering profound insights into the nature of existence and the path of spiritual liberation. However, as Markandeya approached the age of 16, a shadow loomed over his destiny. According to the prophecy, his life was to be cut short by the merciless hand of death, leaving behind a legacy of unfulfilled potential and untold wisdom. Despite the inevitability of his fate, Markandeya remained steadfast in his devotion to the divine, trusting in the ultimate benevolence of the cosmos. On the fateful day when death was destined to claim him, Markandeya retreated to the solitude of a scheduled forest, where he sought refuge in the sanctum of Lord Shiva. As the appointed hour drew near, the heavens darkened and the storm engulfed the land, unleashing torrents of rain and wind with ferocious intensity. Underrated by the chaos unfolding around him, Markandeya clung to the sacred lingam with unwavering faith, his heart ablaze with fervent prayer and devotion. In that moment of peril, the cosmic forces converged and death incarnate manifested in the form of a monstrous tidal wave, its roiling waters threatening to engulf everything in their path. Lord Shiva, the compassionate protector of his devotees, appeared before Markandeya in all his resplendent glory, his third eye blazing with celestial fire. With a gesture of his hand, Shiva arrested the relentless advance of time, freezing the waters in their tracks. In that transcendent moment, Markandeya beheld the divine majesty of the Lord, his heart overflowing with gratitude and reverence. Recognizing the immeasurable grace bestowed upon him, he bowed before Shiva in humble adoration, surrendering himself completely to the will of the cosmic dance. Touched by Markandeya's unwavering devotion and spiritual resolve, Lord Shiva granted him the boon of immortality, decreeing that he would remain eternally youthful and wise, untouched by the ravages of time. Thus Markandeya became known as the Chiranjeevi, the immortal sage whose life transcends the cycles of creation and dissolution. Following this miraculous deliverance, Markandeya embarked on a spiritual odyssey that would span the ages, traversing the length and breadth of creation, imparting his timeless wisdom to seekers of truth and enlightenment. His teachings, encapsulated in the sacred text known as the Markandeya Purana, continue to inspire and illuminate the path of spiritual seekers across generations. In the annals of Hindu mythology, the saga of Markandeya endures as a testament to the power of devotion, resilience, and the triumph of righteousness over adversity. His story serves as a timeless reminder of the eternal quest for spiritual fulfillment, inviting humanity to seek refuge in the divine amidst the currents of life.